The Magic Book and the Mythical Creatures. The journey begins. Lucas stood there, completely transfixed for a moment. The luminous creature before him had a surreal beauty. Its hands were made of threads of light, and its eyes shone with ancient wisdom. At first I thought it was a projection, an illusion created by the magic of the book, but the sense of presence was real.
Who are you? He finally managed to ask, his voice barely above a whisper. I am Lyra, a guardian fairy of a world beyond yours, the creature replied, with a voice that sounded like a soft melody. You, Lucas, were chosen to hear my call. The book gave you a gift, but also a responsibility.
A gift? A responsibility? Lucas suddenly felt a little insecure, even though his adventure had barely begun.
Yes, you have the power to hear us, to understand us, Lyra explained, giving a gentle glow to her expression. But there are dangers. Not all beings in our world want to be discovered by humans. Lucas looked at her, his eyes wide. His head was spinning with the idea that perhaps behind that old book, there were entire worlds. Worlds he had never imagined, full of creatures he only knew about from old stories or drawings. Why me? Why did you choose me? He asked, almost ashamed of his own curiosity. Because your soul is pure, Lucas. You have an open heart, a sincere desire to learn and help. And sometimes the universe needs someone with courage to bridge the gap between different worlds. Lyra's voice was light, almost like a friendly piece of advice. At that moment, a gust of wind blew through the window of the wooden cabin, stirring up leaves and dust. The light around Lyra grew brighter, and she moved closer to Lucas, her glow brighter. Now you have to decide. You can close the book, forget about it, and go back to your routine. Or you can embark on a journey that will change your life forever. Lucas looked around, fearful, excited, and a spark of adventure igniting inside him. He knew that his choice could be the key to discovering something beyond anything he could imagine. I want to help you. I want to learn more, he said with determination. Lyra smiled and with a delicate gesture touched the page of the book. The environment around them began to dissolve into a golden light, a feeling of expansion and freedom.
The first mission, discovering the world of creatures. At that moment, Lucas felt a floating and peaceful sensation, as if he were being carried by an invisible air current. And when he opened his eyes, he realized that he was no longer in the cabin, but in a different place. A huge garden, with enormous trees whose leaves shone as if they were made of crystals, flowers that exuded light, and creatures that seemed to have come out of fairy tales. Lyra appeared at his side, now visible along with him. The creatures around him looked on curiously, spread out across that scene of magical beauty.
This is the kingdom of Avalon, Lyra explained. Our home, hidden from reality, yet close to everything you know. Lucas walked slowly, in awe. Each step seemed to open a door to a new wonder. Then a golden-furred creature with deep blue eyes approached calmly.
Welcome, Lucas. I am Feline, a wood elf. You humans rarely come here. He spoke in a soft but firm voice. We need you to help us protect the secret of our world, especially now that there are signs that our existence may be discovered. Lucas felt a mixture of fear and excitement. Something bigger was beginning to unfold, and he was certain that his life would never be the same. How can I help? He asked, his voice trembling but firm. Phelan smiled with a look of hope. We need someone who can listen and understand us. The magic of the book is not only for talking to creatures, he explained. It is used to create bridges of understanding. But there are dark forces trying to cross the barrier, and we need a brave human to protect this secret.
On the horizon, the sky began to slowly darken, while a faint light flickered between the trees, like signs that something important was about to happen. The awakening of a new adventure, Lucas realized that his life, until then, had been a routine of school, friends, and simple games. Now he had an important role in a story that surpassed any movie or story he had ever heard. He knew that all of this was real, and that he had a mission: to learn, understand, and protect a hidden world that coincided with his wildest childhood dreams. Before moving on, Lyra touched his shoulder and said,
There are more creatures than just Lyras, Phalans, and fairies. There are dragons, mermaids, goblins, dwarves, and even beings we call guardians. Each of us has our role in the great web of life. You, Lucas, have been chosen to connect these worlds, but beware, for there are forces that seek to erase them, and your role may be even more important than you imagine. Lucas felt the weight of these words, but most of all, he felt an exciting hope that something new and greater awaited him. He looked around at the sky full of twinkling stars as the magical creatures began to gather around him, ready to explain what was to come next. His adventure, in fact, had only just begun.